Hey, everybody. Good morning. Apologies for the delay. Apparently, I did not hit the go live button. So, we are here today with Raf Jacobs, who is a guru here in Barcelona with commercial and residential property investments. If you want to buy a home, if you want to buy something for investing, Raf is the man you want to go to. But if you don't know him, Raf Jacobs is a licensed real estate buyer who is I guess, frequently lecturing on the subject at the University of Barcelona, as well as running informational real estate sessions for the Barcelona City Council. He's created a commercial real estate series with Metropolitan, which you can find on our respective YouTube channels. However, in his day-to-day job, Raf and his team are working 200% with international buyers to guide them through the process of the Spanish property jungle. Are you still here in Barcelona, Raf?
I'm currently on vacation, but when you asked me for this interview, Victor, I couldn't resist. So I'm in Belgium at the moment, which is the country where I'm from originally.
Okay, and so what we wanted to do, Raf, is to offer, as always, value to the people here in the community of Barcelona, people who need help to find the right schools, to find the right neighborhoods. And I couldn't think of a better person to help us with taking advantage of the current fluctuations in the currency markets so that you can share with them one of the most important investments that they'll make in their life, just buying a home. So I wanted to share 3 or 4 subjects or top tips that you would recommend. And let me say here, you say that the current global situation has created a big advantage for people with US dollar savings and who want to buy a property in Spain. So if you can, please, what has exactly happened and how can you quantify this benefit?
Right. So what has happened is basically, if you look at the US dollar euro exchange rate, the US dollar has become a lot stronger over the last 1.5 years. It's around 20% appreciation of US dollar versus euros since January last year, and compared to today. Now, a lot of people are not aware of this because when you are interested in buying a property today, you probably look at property prices today. You look at your bank account balance in US dollars today. But I think if you look at the context, you're probably at one of the best possible moments from the last few years, and potentially, I think, and I'll explain later, for the near future as well, in terms of how much euros you get for your US dollars. So there's an opportunity for people with savings in US dollars, not only Americans, to buy properties in Europe. Specifically, we work in Spain. How big is that advantage? Around 20%. So what does it mean? If a property, let's say a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment in Barcelona, just an example, let's say the asking price was 1.5 years ago, €500,000, 500,000 euros. And let's say the price is today still 500,000 euros because prices dropped a bit during COVID. They went up a bit again. So approximately they will be similar. Now, equal prices in US dollar, in euros, but in US dollars, it would mean like 400,000 euros, 20% difference just because of the exchange rate. It's not because you have more savings or you worked harder. No, it's just the exchange rate effect, which gives you more purchasing power in euros. It means you can either buy a better property with the same amount of money, or you just spend less money. That is the advantage. Again, people often are not aware of this situation here. I think it might well be temporarily, because these things they fluctuate. But also we see now in Europe, European Central Bank increasing interest rates, and as the US is doing, and this will probably continue this year and potentially next year, which will potentially increase demand for euros and therefore slow down the increase of the US dollar euro exchange rate, or maybe even make it go down again. So I think there is a temporary window of opportunity to convert your US dollar into euros and to buy properties.
So, Raf, you've been an expert, and one of the things that people like about you is that you actually make predictions. You make bold predictions, and then later on you come back and you assess whether you were right or you're wrong. What do you think is going to happen with in the short term with these foreign fluctuations in the currency rates?
Well, it's a bit what I just said. That of course there's uncertainty and nobody has a crystal ball to predict the future. But there is expectations that interest rates will continue to go up in Europe. A lot of economists think that therefore the US dollar might stop appreciating further, which doesn't mean yet that it will go down, but this might well be it might not become any better than what you have today.
Okay.
It might
And
even go
so,
worse.
overall, how do you think the market is going?
If you look at the property market in Spain, and this is a good question because it's not only about US dollar euro, because you're not the only buyer if you have US dollar savings, there's more buyers on the market. In the first part of this year, 2022, the amount of international buyers has nearly doubled. So nearly the double number of international buyers bought properties in Spain in the first part of this year. That's massive. Such an increase has been unseen. Of course, part because of COVID, because last year transactions were very low, but still absolute numbers are very high, meaning that international buyers are coming back to the market. That is demand. That is competing buyers for the same property. All people like nice properties, of course, international people. At the same time, the interest rates are still very low. They have gone up in the euro, the European interbanking offering rate, as they call it, has gone up, the interest rate, but still very low. If you look at it in perspective, and I think in the last episode we did together, episode 14, the tips for buyers, which is on our YouTube channels, I showed the graph. And while interest rate goes up, if you zoom in, if you zoom out, it's still very low. It's maybe 2%, 3% interest rate. A few years back, we had like 5-6% interest rates. So interest rates still very low, meaning that it's still very attractive for buyers. There is more international buyers. And I think there's also not just rational elements, but an emotional component as well. A lot of people wanted to buy in 2020, 2021 and couldn't buy. They couldn't travel here. It was hard to visit Spain, risky. So these restrictions have been lifted now, and people want to achieve their dream. And we see now, and that's good for the people listening here, I think, to know who is buying today, specifically with US dollar savings. It's a lot of people who currently live already in Spain, and they change from renting to owning a property. Secondly, lifestyle buyers. That's for me, people who are currently living, for instance, in the US, and they say, I want something in Europe, a hub in Europe to travel. Maybe the kids go to university there later, etc. Just lifestyle holidays. And people who invest. And the investment segment is becoming stronger again. And that's because of inflation. That's also, again, a rational element. Because when inflation is high, people tend to prefer property, bricks, instead of the stock exchange or other much more risky investments.
Okay, and in terms of, these are the types of people who are going to be able to better take advantage of the opportunities?
So I think a continuation of what we've seen in the last 6 months, meaning expats living in Spain already, increased strong demand for the rest of the year, and more people from the US currently living there, and we see that in our demand when we talk to potential buyers, when we start new projects with American buyers, that proportion is going up. There's more American buyers now than a year ago in proportion, but also in absolute numbers. But those lifestyle decisions, those investments, that is a big opportunity. Of course, it's still complex it's not just, the dollar is stronger now, so let's buy. You used the word property jungle in the beginning of this conversation, Victor, and I think that is still very accurate. It is complex. It's still hard to know what are the good properties. How do I avoid overpaying? Because agencies who sell, they know as well that the dollar is stronger. They try and abuse the fact very often that you're an international buyer, even if you live here. It's still hard to know which agencies to trust, etc. So challenges are still there, but that's why we can help you as buyer agents to guide you through not just the buying process, but also making sure that the preparation is done properly. What about maybe you want a golden visa, or maybe you need to open bank accounts here, get NIE numbers, and these things need to be planned properly. When to transfer your funds? Typical question.
Okay, so definitely you see increased demand from Americans here.
Yes.
So if people are interested in moving forward and buying, what do you recommend that people do?
I think first of all, get some information on the property market, and I think the free webinars, a lot of free content, articles, webinars, short videos on your and our YouTube channels on buying property. Again, it's for free tips, insights, recommendations, things to do, what not to do, etc. But secondly, just write us an email address. Write us an email. We'll post it's raf@inspireapartments.com. Drop us a note, and we will get in touch. And the first thing really is you got to tell me what you want to buy and why you want to buy. I need to listen to your plans. I'll give you my initial thoughts, my initial reflection and recommendations. And then I can tell you as well how I would start that journey and how we could help you. And then if you think that support is valuable, let's have a more detailed conversation. We can make you a proposal for services. But look as well at on our YouTube channel, there's specific videos from international buyers, many American buyers, who share their experience once they have purchased. So if you're thinking of buying now, those people in the videos, they were at the same situation as you're at now, 4, 5, 6 months ago. And they share now in 1 or 2 minutes how that journey has been, what they've learned, what they want to share with you. And I think that might be very inspirational.
All righty. Well, I think that's about it that we wanted to discuss, unless there's something else you'd like to share right now, Raf. But we like getting lots of really valuable information in a compact period, a short period of time. Yes. On people's way to work early in the morning. We're going to be doing this regularly with Metropolitan. And given that you are very generously sharing your wisdom with us on the webinars, as well as the articles that you're always writing, I think we're going to have more opportunities to check with you about how things are going in the market. Also, I wanted to plug that you're going to be at the Barcelona International Community Day. So if people have some questions, maybe they're being shy, but if they want to, they can come up to your stand and talk to you about what's going on. Is that right?
That's correct. That's in October, organized by the City Council of Barcelona. But again, before that, the best thing is if you're serious about buying, drop us an email, contact us through our social channels, and let's set up a one-to-one conversation, a Zoom meeting, first session, 30 minutes for free, no commitment from your side. That might be very valuable just to see how your plans could develop. And then follow us. We provide frequent updates. As independent advisors. So we don't sell properties, just to be clear. We help people buy, and therefore we can have an independent opinion. And that's as well what people, but also institutions like the university or like City Council, they value, because we have no interest in selling certain properties. It's about your interests.
Excellent. Okay, Raf, well, thank you so much. Thank you for taking time from your vacation over there in Belgium. And we'll see you back here in Barcelona when the heat is perhaps dissipated a little bit. Thanks again, everybody. If you have any questions,
thanks for having me, Victor.
Follow Inspired Property and Jacobs in the details upstairs or below. I can't remember exactly where this goes, but we'll put this out there. Thanks again, Jay. And sorry. Oh no, I thought you were saying something. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon, Raf.
Have a good day, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.